There we go. I see a red box. Inside that red box, I see a word. The word, in fact, is live. And because I still haven't graduated to professional status as a host, I consult my host manual. And that means, in fact, we are live. And I want to thank all of you for joining us. And if you love what we do here, check out TalkShop.live to view hundreds of some of the greatest artists out there who, by the way, have autographed their albums for fans just like you. I've been looking for a 3-year break from his experience with me the last time, although I thought it was pretty good. Uh,
It was
but
great.
I'm extraordinarily excited beyond words. And as if he needs one, I'm gonna put him right to work. Adam, if you would be so kind as to introduce yourself to the fine folks out there.
Hello, fine folks. It's Adam Lambert here. How are you all? Thank you so much for participating in this today. Very exciting. The album's out. I mean, it's technically tomorrow, but that means tonight at midnight in most places, 9 o'clock in some places, whatever your time zone is. But I'm very excited.
As are we. And just a little background. And some of this was just riffing on my own, but I feel it's warranted. He's a new millennium man, yet he also qualifies as a Renaissance man. He's an extraordinary singer. He's a songwriter, actor on the stage and film and on television. Stunning stage presence. If you haven't seen him live, you are missing a lot. And what's left? Maybe writing a book. I don't know, but man, he's checked a lot of boxes, and we're thankful for it. Today we celebrate the wonderful news, as Adam said, the brand new album entitled Adam is finally unveiled tomorrow or officially at midnight. So buckle up. Let's kick this show off. And Sam, if you would, please roll the video.
Boom.
Thank you, Steve. You made it very easy for me.
Look at that, Adam. You made the intro. I'm not sure if we owe you residuals, but have your lawyer call mine, and we'll figure it out. But man,
From the
so
last
great.
one, yeah.
I'm Steve Harkins, your host for the Rock and Roll Channel, Talk Shop Live, and please welcome again to Talk Shop Live's Rock and Roll Channel, the amazing, the fabulous, truly an American treasure, the one and only Adam Lambert. Adam, thank you so much for being here today, man. You got a busy schedule, so it means a lot.
Yeah, I mean, everything like gearing up to the release day has definitely accelerated. We've gained momentum, but it's very exciting.
Yeah, and yeah, I share that excitement. I know the fans will as well. First of all, where do we find you this fine afternoon? Or I think it's probably still morning where you're at.
Yeah, it's late morning. I'm in LA. I live in New York now, but I'm here rehearsing to prepare for these live shows that I'm doing. Doing like a handful live shows to celebrate the album. It's a little mini tour, and done 2 days of rehearsal, and it feels great. Today's the last day of rehearsal, and we'll be ready for tomorrow night.
That's great news. Yeah, you got the release and you got that first date tomorrow. And fans, I want to say if you want to ask Adam a question or you have a comment, use the chat function. We'll get to as many as possible. And Adam, say this with all candor. I know you're affiliated with as being an entertainer in the entertainment business, but what you do is truly more important than that, especially these days, these somewhat contentious times. And it doesn't matter what religious affiliation one has or a political affiliation for that matter, when you set foot on stage or you're unveiling new music, seems like that one common thread we have is music. And man, you bring people together with your music and your art. And thank you for that. We need Adam Lambert more than ever today.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the single that we put out, Under the Rhythm, that the lyrics are kind of, that's what it's about. It's kind of
Yeah.
saying, look, like you might be going through something tough or a challenge, or you might have just come out of something, and use the music to pull yourself up. The rhythm, I mean, move your body, sing along. These things are like really healing.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, it's a form of therapy, and it's a celebration too. It makes people feel good. We need feel good moments. I think,
Absolutely.
in this day and age. Congratulations on this great new album. You've gotta be thrilled, again, with the
Yeah.
final result of it.
I really am. I mean, I'm proud of all the work that I've done over my career, but this one it's been interesting because it was just like the smoothest process that I've been through so far. It just felt like everything felt sort of organic and sort of it was at a pace that felt really good. And all the people that came on to work on this thing were all like really passionate and invested and had a lot of great ideas. It just was a truly like smooth sailing experience, which I was very grateful for.
Yeah, that was what I picked up on, like, one of the great benefits, in addition to spending some quality time talking with you one-on-one is, being able to hear the music in advance, and it seemed clear to me that there was a vision on how you wanted the album to sound and also the vibe and the messaging. There's passion, there's heart, there's soul, and I read that, you wanted to create songs also that kind of fit in a world that was reminiscent of music, that kind of formed your musical, spiritual, the inspirations. A lot of this from the '90s and early 2000s, and again, I mean, I think that's what really conveys this kind of feel good, um, and great messaging too. By the way, I think the lyrics are really standout.
Thank you. Yeah, I think in terms of the subject matter, those all the songs kind of just came about after like organic conversations. Right? A lot of these writing sessions, you get together with a couple other songwriters and a producer. It's a
Yep.
cool process because you're just sort of a lot of times it just kind of starts with a conversation. So a lot of the subject matter came from that, just came from real talk, about life. And I try, my mission was to just be as unfiltered and honest as I possibly could with the subject matter. And yeah, the sound of the album, I'm very excited about the sound. I think this whole idea of world building. Some
Yep.
of that comes from your subject matter, but some of it comes from like the sonics. Like trying to create sort of an environment, an audio environment. That was really exciting for me. And Pete Nappy, my executive producer, was like very integral in that process. And so was Jess Thomas, my A&R. I mean, between the three of us, like we really dialed in a vibe, I think, which I'm really
Yeah.
proud of.
Absolutely. I picked up the sonic experience is great. I have more to say on that when we go through some of the tracks. But just as you worked with a range of songwriters, you also worked with a wide range of producers. Did you land on them based on kind of what you felt, was the right mix that was called for that particular song? And also what do producers for Adam Lambert bring to the table from your perspective?
Well, it was an interesting process. Jess Thomas, the A&R person that we brought on for this project, she's incredible. And
Yeah.
we had some preliminary conversations, and she was like, "Okay, so what do you want to do?" And I put together a playlist of stuff that was sort of the sound or the feeling that I was drawn to. Some of it was contemporary music, but most of it ended up being sort of throwback stuff, like you said, from the '90s.
Yeah.
And the early 2000s. Even the contemporary stuff that was on the playlist, they were sort of referencing the same style. So I went back to some of these like early formative recordings that I really love, and kind of referenced that and wanted to go in that direction. The sort of darker industrial,
Yeah.
the intersection between alternative and electronica that was going on in the '90s was so cool
Yeah.
because it wasn't necessarily like all like EDM like what we have now. It wasn't necessarily dance. But it was electronic instruments and sounds and textures. So I really wanted to do that. And I've done 2 summers ago I did a dance EP of like sort of house influenced music that I really loved called Afters. But then I figured, okay, I have that in my set list now. So now like I have some dance songs. Now what else can I do in a different direction? And so actually a lot of the songs on this album are sort of mid-tempo. They
Yeah.
they're not super, super fast. They kind of truck along. I call it strutting music.
I love that. Yeah.
It's great for a runway, a fashion runway, or like down the sidewalk or on a treadmill when you just kind of want to like walk with like attitude, you know?
Or by the way, some of it I do feel is danceable, but that's because I'm a bit older and maybe I can't go full speed. So, you know.
Yeah, some of the dance music now that the kids are listening to is real fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's yeah, there's a couple that pick up for sure. Yeah.
The album cover shot, by the way, is absolutely extraordinary, really striking. Love it. So I guess Nick Knight has something to do with that. Also, Ryan Davey, I think, also had some of the design work behind the album.
Yeah, yeah. Ryan is incredible graphic designer.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the stuff that's been posted onto socials, like the whole like cityscape that we did and all those buildings, that was created 100% by Ryan from scratch, which is amazing.
Wow.
In this A&I age, it was amazing that he literally built every little bit of that. So he busted his ass on that, and he did a great job.
He did.
He also worked really hard on all of our incredible, like the booklet and the layout and all that stuff. And he used Nick Knight's images to do that. Nick Knight is like a fashion legend. You know, he's been doing this since the 90s. And in fact, some of the artists that I referenced for this project, he even did their album covers at one point in time. So it felt like a very sort of connected full circle thing. Yeah, like it was meant to be.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of fashion, man, I would pay good money to go shopping with you for glasses. So I don't think I could pull it off, but man, I love those.
I know. I think I just saw comments that take your glasses off. And ladies and gentlemen, I was up late. It's 10 in the morning, and I think I got a little like sty.
Oh, no.
So it's like I'm taking my glasses, I'm putting glasses on, let my eyes breathe from this eyeliner for a minute.
Yeah, you know what? Adam can take whatever liberties he wants. I don't think we're paying him that well to do this. So, man, he will wear what he wants to wear.
It's rock and roll.
It is rock and roll. And how about the sequencing too? I would, while there was kind of this atmospheric common thread, there was some like weaving in and out in terms of the different tracks. And what really struck me, even like the first three tracks, there's a little bit of twists and turns, yet it still flows really well. And are you one of those tortured artists where it's like, okay, maybe it's really obvious what the opening track may be? To me, it was pretty obvious what the closing track should be. You nailed that one.
Yeah, opening and closing was very easy to figure out. The first and the last were like so easy. The sequencing, I did make myself absolutely crazy trying to figure out what the right sequence was. Yeah. I reordered it 100 million times. I got different versions from and suggestions from Jess and Pete and everybody. I got kind of crazy, but you could probably order it a couple different ways. So please listen to it as it was intended. But then, ladies and gentlemen, you can reorder it in your own playlist if you want.
That's exactly right.
I wanted to make sure we started with something like with some playfulness to it, and Rat City has a cheeky sort of wink at the audience feeling. I mean, it's definitely like a fun song, even though it has some darkness to it. And then kind of moving into the second song is also sort of it's ridiculous, it's fun, Necklace.
100%.
But my storyline in Necklace is that it's about a sexy time with a lover, and you're comparing it all to fashion accessories, but it's so decadent and so sort of maximalist that sort of sets us up for where we go next, where there's like a downside to being that excessive in your life.
Absolutely. And what else is interesting too, and I look at the cover, just going back to that again for a second, it has a retro vibe, almost like that Metropolis kind of feel, and yet it feels contemporary. And here we are talking about your new album released on vinyl, which was dead to the world for maybe 20 years, right? It was the leading format, and then it went away. And here we are talking about your new album with vinyl being at the forefront on the physical side.
Yeah, it's exciting. I've been collecting vinyl for a little while myself, and it's the one vinyl that I love that we did is like it's almost like a silver sort of like metallic version of the album sleeve. I don't know which version that we were calling that, but it's so pretty. Like I've been looking at it at home like, wow, this is so pretty.
It's almost become fashionable, some of those colored variants, for sure. no doubt about it. And you mentioned, you have a string of dates, stateside, and I think you have an appearance in London and Berlin. Do you think that'll be the extent of it for the year?
For the year, but for the immediate future right now, I mean, we just wanted to get word out about the album and sort of celebrate it. Look, I mean, the whole fantasy of being a pop star and putting out albums is to tour. So my goal is to try to work on that.
Yep.
But it might look like next year is more of the touring opportunities. But who knows? Maybe something would come up before that. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think that's a cue for everyone. Where there's tickets still available, you wanna pick them up, and you will be working at some of the new material, of course.
All of the new album will be part of the show. I mean,
That's
if
amazing.
it were an hour and 20-minute album, that's all I would do. But so it's going to be the album, and then it was really fun to actually go through my catalog and find songs that fit into this world. So
Yeah.
it's kind of fully flushed out, which is exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked just taking a little bit of a detour just because I think it really needs to be called out. You were no stranger to a theater, but congratulations on that great run you had with Cabaret. I mean, nothing but great
Thank
reviews
you.
from what I could tell, man. And this I think was your Broadway debut as well, and that had to be exhilarating.
Yeah.
What a great role.
It was, and it was such a again, these full circle things keep happening, which is so exciting. Means it makes me feel like I'm on the right track.
Yeah,
I grew up doing musicals. That was my thing, and
right.
into my 20s, I was a professional musical theater performer. So, and I did that right up until the time when I was on Idol. So it had been 17, 18 years since I had done a musical. It
Wow.
just felt like it was really nice to get back to the world of theater for a minute, to work with theater people, which I love,
Yeah.
and to tell somebody else's story, not just mine,
Yeah.
and to do it as a team. It felt
Yeah.
it was really invigorating. And the cool thing about that show, I mean, there's many cool things, but what I loved, it was that my character, the MC, the first act, I got to be really ridiculous and silly and kind of horny, and
Yeah.
I got to improv a lot and make the audience laugh. And then as we get into the second act, it's very heavy, very dark, about anti-Semitism and the rise of the Nazis in Germany during World War II. And
Yeah.
it's a very, it has a big dichotomy to it, big contrast. And I felt like that stretched me and kind of challenged me in great ways. And then
Yeah.
going and doing Jesus Christ Superstar the next summer,
Right.
that was also a really heavy, dramatic role. I don't
Judas,
think,
right?
yeah, Judas. And
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think musically that the music from either of those things necessarily influenced this project, but I think the emotional access to that darker energy, I think that did sort of open a door for me to try to tap into for this album.
That's great. Did it reinstill the bug that probably was always in you to consider the other theater work in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything lined up right now. I'm not actively looking for anything, but I'm
Yeah.
sure I'll do something more. I mean, I had a great time. It feels like, now that I moved to New York, I feel like, I'm right there.
Yeah, you're in the heart of it, and you'll know when
Yeah.
you know, right? When the
Yeah,
opportunity
something will come
presents
up.
itself. No doubt about it for sure. I also wanted to just take a moment to shout out for the work that's done by Feel Something Foundation. I suspect in today's climate, the work there is needed more than ever.
Yeah, I mean, this is an organization I put together. I think it's been about 7 years or so,
Mhm.
maybe 6. Yeah, and we work primarily with LGBTQ plus causes. We partner up with sort of larger existing organizations, and we do like initiatives together. My goal is always to sort of just like highlight sort of partner with them and sort of highlight what they're doing, create some more visibility for it, and then try to raise some more funding for a lot of these
Yeah.
things as well.
Yeah.
And it's great. The fans have been really supportive of that, and they get excited about what I get excited about. So it's great.
Well, you're to be congratulated and commended, for that for sure. And speaking of which, you have a love army of fans that span the globe, man. It's like this thing is spinning, but Lauren Marie Houghton is saying Glambert since American Idol. I mean, that's the amazing thing too. I mean, you look so youthful, and you are, but man, you've been doing this.
Youthful.
You've been doing this for a while. At the same token, and
Yeah.
what's got to be incredible is when you set foot on stage, you're facing, fans that were with you from the beginning, but now you're talking about maybe a new generation or two of fans, and that has to be mind-blowing.
It's always exciting. I mean, I do see a lot of familiar faces when I do projects, and I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Um, I forget names really easily, to be honest with you, which is a terrible habit. But I have a mind for faces. Like I have a
Yeah.
little photographic memory, and I can usually remember faces pretty well. So I'll look out in the audience and like recognize a lot of super fans that have been around since the beginning, which I love. It always makes me feel like, I've come home or something. It feels very safe. And yeah,
Right.
I mean, the exciting thing about putting new music out with a new sound is hopefully it's an album that they will love, and then in theory, maybe a new listener would get into it. That's always exciting.
Exactly. Exactly. Baby Kiwi Fruit is just flat out saying, "I love you, Adam." Can't fit enough hearts on the chat. And then
Aw.
Lajos Faket is saying hello from Hungary. Hungary's in the house. And also Mahivash saying, Adam, looking good as usual, excited for the new album. And,
Aw.
yeah, and, boy, there's just so many fans here. I just wanna remind everybody, that, we're here, to celebrate, this brand new album that, has well, for those of us that are looking for a full-length album, it's been, I think, 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, and after that wait, um,
It was
the 4th
6 years from a full length album. I think
is that right?
3 years ago was Afters, but that was technically an EP. So I guess you can kind of count that. But 6 years since I did a full length. Yeah.
Well, it has been it felt like an eternity, but it has been well worth the wait, and I'll tell you what, the man has delivered, properly entitled Adam, features 12 new studio tracks. The man is powerful, energetic, the music is filled with passion and heart, great vibe, and it officially releases, as you've heard us discuss, tomorrow, really midnight, this Friday, the 10th, and Rock and Roll Channel, Talk Shop Live fans can purchase their copies right here right now, and as Adam's way of thanking you fine fans, he's graciously agreed to sign a limited number of copies of vinyl and CD purchased here. To order your copies, hit the shop button on Talk Shop Live on socials, Facebook and Instagram. Comment shop, and we'll DM you a link. Click that on. And if you're watching through YouTube, just click the link in the description. The rest is quick, easy, and pain-free. Unlike the slight arthritic condition Adam may have developed signing for you fine fans, but well on the way to recovery. And
That was
I
a
can tell
very
you,
long weekend of marker play.
you are a good man. Yeah, again, and we appreciate you doing that for the fans as well, for Talk Shop Live. And
But let
they're
me correct myself. You're right.
please,
It has been 3 years since because we did the cover album. So it's been
yeah,
6 years since I put out an original full length.
original album.
That's
That's
the
important.
yeah.
So yeah, so for all intents and purposes, it's been 6 years, and
Yeah.
for new music, coming from the pen and the heart of Adam, and you know what, it's going to be sold out pretty soon, absolutely guaranteed. And thanks to everybody who's already purchased it. So don't delay on this. And there's no greater way to show how much you appreciate the amazing artistry of one Adam Lambert than by owning a copy of this upcoming release. This brilliant work entitled Adam. So, Adam, I guess, we'll just kind of jump into the tracks. You touched on it earlier, Rat City. I love this opener. The intro grabs you out of the gate, kind of this dystopian kind of vibe at first, and the lead vocal is so striking, and the
Thank
harmony
you.
arrangement's magnificent.
Thanks.
Yeah, and again, what's great is you don't, with you and your songwriting partners, you don't just always stick to the traditional verse, chorus, verse. There's a great break and a transition in there that just injects new life in what already is a great a great track, and a great lyric to this one as well.
Thank you. Yeah, we kind of threw a lot of the rules out the window. I mean, and also just multiple genres into like a blender. There's a
Yeah,
lot of influences. I mean, Rat City, its DNA as a song is actually sort of throwback. It's kind of classic. I mean, there's a little bit of
totally.
Prince in there. There's a little bit of like classic rock. There's a little bit of Queen kind of harmonies in there. But
Yep.
Matthias, the producer of that one, he made it sound really futuristic and sort of metallic. He, you know, instead of what would usually be played on a, you know, with basic power guitar chords, we made it into a synthesizer. So lots of like experimentation with the sounds.
Yeah, and a lot of programmed drumming, you know, percussion along with
Yeah.
synth, right? That really
Yeah.
lays the foundation.
Yeah. So I mean, it is an electronic album, but there is like a lot of like, you know, alternative spirit in there, you know, and some rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and melodic too. I mean, the melody lines and everything, there's folks in there. It's not like it's monotone by any means, from that
Yeah.
standpoint. You talked about, oh, by the way, again, old school, and me, man, I would love to hear a special extended 12-inch, should I say, dance mix for this one, man. It just feels like it calls for it, man. I'd pay good money for that.
I think there's a few that could transition into dance mixes. Yeah, at some point maybe we'll do that.
I'll tell you what, it'd be pretty amazing for sure, man. That one just has a lot going for it. Necklace, you touched on infectious dance track, killer groove, seductive vocal, make you my obsession, diamond cut perfection, put you where my chest is, wear you like a necklace. You mentioned Prince. For me, I felt like if Prince was still with us, and I actually negotiated a few things with him back in the day, which was pretty thrilling, and I was a huge fan. I sensed, man, when he would hear this track, if he could hear this track, who knows, maybe he can, that he would be dialing you up immediately and insisting that the two of you work together, because that's how he rolled. When something spoke to him and ours spoke to him, he's like, I got to work with that person. And that was my takeaway. I felt like he would have responded to this track.
I always think when you're in a writing session, if you ask yourself, what would Prince do? You're on the right track. Like that's the question to ask in a moment where you're like, what should we do next? How should we do this? I never got the chance to actually meet him, but I saw him a few times perform. In fact, it's a funny story. I'll try to tell it really quick, but I was in New York with some friends. I had gone to the MTV Music Awards. This was probably 12, 13 years ago. And we went to an after party after that and, you know, got a little tipsy and then left the after party. It was like 2 a.m. And we were wandering down, we were downtown Manhattan, and we were like, where should we go? Let's go like try to, you know, go get one more drink somewhere. And we heard music thumping from this bar, and we approached it, and the bouncer was like, nah, sorry, it's a private event. And then he looked at me and went, wait, are you the American Idol guy? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, actually, there's a booth in the front that just opened up. Go ahead with your friends in. We walk in, it's Prince on stage with like, in this tiny little rock club. He's on stage with like 12 other musicians, and they're just jamming. And amazing. Like, I was like, it's Prince. We were like this close. It was the most wild, magical night. It was so great.
You know, I was negotiating with him, and again, I'll make this super quick, but he had amazing pipes. I thought it was a fraudulent call, like somebody was just pulling my leg, because he said, would you take a call from Prince? And I said, I'm sorry, I'm preoccupied right now with the Queen, and the Queen trumps Prince. And, you know, and I didn't get any laughs, and I realized it might be Prince. So anyway, you know, I felt like at some point, you know, I can inject a little bit of humor. Never heard him laugh, but he kept calling me sir, and we were the same age. And I said, you know, if you keep calling me sir, I'm going to call you the artist formerly known as the artist formerly known as. And he didn't laugh, but I got like a 5-second pause. So I'm thinking he was smiling at least. I'm pretty sure I got that out of him.
I think he had like internal laughter. Yeah. He laughed with his eyes. Yeah.
At least that's my takeaway, and I'm going to stick with that. But hey, how about we check out some music, Adam? I think we have to share some of this great music with the fans.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah.
Terrific. So here's a track from Adam's forthcoming new album, of course, entitled Adam. Here's Eat You Alive. And if you would, Sam, please roll the digital.
I'm running circles round the front of your mind. Can't spit me out because your tongue is so tight. Ain't no way you're gonna run or hide. I'm in your bloodstream, motherfucker, you're mine. You know my love's gonna eat you alive, swallow you up when you come take a bite. I want you in the night,
Man, just absolutely striking, brilliant video. You know, Adam, too, I keep forgetting. This is the part why I'm reminded why I don't give out my home address because fans get really upset at me for cutting off a great track right in the middle of it. But it's also my cue to say that if you want to hear the latter half of it, which is just as brilliant as the first half, buy the album, support Adam,
Yeah.
support music. I'm sure some of you may have heard this already, but great title, great opening in this one, massive instant anthem, just a gem. And I love, again, this is what was an example. I mean, it's the third track on the album, and I love kind of the shift, you know, kind of the variety, even though there are common threads through it and timeless sounding on this one. Now you were talking about, you know, your influences in the 90s, again, showing my age a little bit, but I felt like if this one was unveiled, you know, if we went back in time, although it doesn't sound dated, but I feel like at the height of MTV, this track would, with that video as well, would rule the playlist.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was, you know, that song was also a song that was developed, and it kind of had a very traditional rock arrangement. And
Yeah.
I said to Pete, I was like, "Yo, we gotta like blast this thing into outer space." So, you know, we referenced a lot of Nine Inch Nails to
Yeah.
get that sort of style on this one. Nine Inch Nails does music, and it's heavy, almost like rock music, but again, it's electronically produced. So I love that effect.
Totally agree. And you know
And
what I
yeah,
love too is
this is definitely this
good.
is like the album's starting to get darker here. It like we
Yeah,
kind of were
yeah.
full, and then the sequence starts to go heavier and darker and more dramatic.
Yeah, absolutely. I also love your, you know, yeah, I mean, you've got such a phenomenal voice, but you know, you're not necessarily mimicking anyone, but it's almost like you're doing musical narration and kind of the way you're approaching your vocals is almost like musical narration for what's called for from the track. And this, I think, was one great example of that.
Yeah, I've kind of noticed. I don't think I'm always necessarily conscious of it or doing it like on purpose, but every song sort of brings out a different color of the voice, like
Right.
or different character almost, or a different approach. Even though that's all about me, or people that I've been interacting with. I think the sonics and the tone of the song, they inform how I approach it vocally. And on that overall, like there are a lot of different facets of the voice being used, which I really love. And in production, I love and I love having, octaves. It's really fun what you get to do. I mean, there's some spoken bits, there's some low gravelly bits, there's some falsetto, there's obviously me belting my ass off like I always have known before.
Yeah.
But everything in between too. It definitely runs a wide variety of approaches.
It does. It shows your range and yeah, and versatility as far as a style for
Yeah.
sure. Porcelain's another good example. That monster beat, kind of this mysterious sort of a Middle Eastern vibe, at least to me. And again, great breaks and transitions and great lyric as well. Insider lies that we hide behind. Kill time reveal to us how we die. Only broken pieces get born again. Come crush apart my heart. It's porcelain. Man, that reads like prose. I mean, it's
Yeah,
great lyric.
that's probably the most like flowery language of any of the songs.
Yeah.
We wrote it in it was a really cool writing process. It was a very frenetic writing process. We're just throwing things out. And yeah, that song, I'm really happy with that song. It's sort of about like toxic masculinity in a way.
Yeah.
Also applied to a female experience, I'm sure too, that when you are going through the world, people develop sort of armor or masks and to hide behind to sort of protect their sensitive insides.
Right.
I know I certainly have found myself doing that in moments. And I think the line "only broken pieces are born again." Sometimes you have to sort of fall apart in order to sort of start again. And
Exactly.
it starts by letting people in and actually like taking down the walls and removing the mask.
100% for sure. And, you know, also you talked about, you know, the sonic experience. I know there's a Atmos version of the album, but this one's a fascinating track for me to listen to. I think fans will agree. And while the entire album warrants it, I feel like this one screams for fans to experience with either a great set of headphones or a great sound system. Because man, it's like a great musical sonic experience.
Yeah, this one, it's trippy. Yeah, this one's kind of
Yeah,
like trippy. Like, yeah, I was definitely, I think I was, I wanted to do something mysterious and dark, and it's screaming for choreography at some point too. I mean, it
well, you
has
got that right.
a lot of attitude in it, but I really love this song. And Lexi
Yeah,
Lewis featured on it. Who's a great artist from China who I met 2 years ago. I was there to do an episode of the show called Singer, which is a huge show there. And Lexi was brought in as sort of my host for my experience there. So she sort of took me to lunch and was translating for me and sort of, you know, helping guide me through the process of the show for my performance. And we became friendly. I mean, she's like super down to earth, really smart, and stunning, and like very talented and stunning, like just a beautiful, beautiful woman. And so I was excited to bring her in on this one. And hopefully, you know, at some point we'll do something visual with it. Cause you know, I just can't wait to see her, you know, on video in the theme of this song.
Absolutely. It warrants a video for sure. Sanity, this one I think will absolutely resonate with fans, you know, musically as well as lyrically. But man, it's a great listen. And speaking of a great listen, I mean, fans are just loving what they're hearing so far. You know, let's see, Karen saying love supporting, you know, supporting music and appreciates what, you know, what you bring to the table here.
Wow.
And let's see here. You know, people, you know, we wanted to focus on Adam, but you know, I guess we'd be remiss. You know, you were the perfect. You talk about a big challenge and the bar being high, but man, you were the perfect complement for the next generation of Queen. One thing I did want to mention, because in just doing some research, and I saw the you know, Bohemian Rhapsody, like many people, several times. I didn't realize you had an uncredited. Do I have this right? You had an uncredited role. Is that true?
Not really a role, like the briefest cameo of all time. I mean, literally a few frames, but it was fun to be on set. And, you know, I had been sort of, you know, a fly on the wall for a lot of their conversations about putting the movie together. So it was exciting to sort of, you know, be a teeny tiny little moment of a part in there. I was a trucker at a rest stop when they were on their tour bus, and Freddie's on payphone to his girl back home. And I sort of parked my truck and saunter to the restroom and look over my shoulder. I'm kind of cruising Freddie, and it implies that maybe Freddie took me up on it. Who knows? Or maybe just, you know, the temptation was there. I don't know what it was meant to represent. Of course, I said to the director, "Are you sure you don't want to do like an interior shot where we're like making out?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's not at the script."
We're good. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a missed opportunity on his part for sure. But I'll tell you what, we all have a homework assignment after we listen to the new album 3 times straight through. Then we got to sift through Bohemian Rhapsody and find out, you know, where Adam is. I'm on a mission. That's for sure.
And it was so exciting because that was the year, you know, the year that it came out and it was nominated for Academy Awards. It was like Queen and I got to open the Academy Awards that year in 2019, and it was like
amazing.
that was such a milestone for me. That was wild. That was so cool.
Was it intimidating at all, man, when you scan?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, because I'm a huge like film TV fan. Like I watch a lot. And just to look out in the audience and see like some of my favorite actors, I was like,
yeah.
So I kind of didn't. I tried not to look until the very end. I was trying to just focus on look at the lights, look at the lights. And at the end, the very end, I kind of looked around and was like, oh my God, this is crazy.
It was a killer performance. Would you say, for all intents and purposes, the run with Queen is done, or is there any potential in the future to work together?
There's nothing on the books, but it's like a never say never kind of situation. No one's actually like, okay, we're done, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just, you know, I take their lead, obviously. And, you know, if they want to go back out, I would likely jump at the chance.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brian and Roger were so fortunate that they were able to come across your talents. Again, like I say, you know, you just took it to a whole nother level, and it wasn't like you were mimicking Freddie, but you were still honoring him at the same token. So you were able to shine as an individual as well as honor the songs. But enough about Queen. We got to go back to this record for sure. And I just want to say, Layla Bug is saying, you know, how much she appreciates how fun you are as far as your presence. Arzus is asking, when are you coming to Mexico? I mean, everybody from every city and state here is begging for you to come to their city, town, state.
I need to make a trip to Mexico to perform. I've never done it. We've never performed in Mexico, and it's like, I love it down there. Now I haven't been to Mexico City. That's like almost number 1 on my bucket list right now. But
yeah,
I've been to a handful of coastal areas, and I love it down there. And I think I've heard that there's a lot of fans in Mexico. In fact, Ghost Town was like a huge success there. You know, it was one of my top territories. So go figure.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, again, I think you're global, man. You speak the global language on all fronts for sure. And Ray is saying, I'm really excited for this record for sure. Man, we've got people from China. We had a fan from China
Yeah.
that's on. There's also somebody from Japan as well. Thanks to everybody. And again, after I'm going to say a 6-year wait as far as new material, new studio material, we're celebrating the forthcoming album release only less than 1 day, midnight, when the clock strikes midnight, you'll be able to hear it in its entirety from the brilliant Adam Lambert, entitled Simply and Appropriately Adam. 12 new fantastic studio tracks. And Adam is just taking it to a whole nother level, man. He just shines on this thing. Rock and Roll Channel fans can purchase the copies right here, right now. And Adam graciously agreed to sign a limited number of the vinyl and the CDs. I'm telling you, they're pretty close to sold out, so don't get mad at me if you delay. And this not only will be a record that you keep going back to, it'll be an heirloom. And the man is just absolutely continuing to keep music alive and keeping the future alive as far as creativity and great music in general. To order your copies on Talk Shop Live, just hit the shop button on socials, Facebook and Instagram. Comment shop will DM you a link. And if you're watching on YouTube, click the link in the description, and the rest is quick and easy. And again, there's no greater way to show how much you appreciate the amazing artistry of one Adam Lambert. If I own a copy of this amazing album, he's taken it to another level. Adam, I guarantee you're going to love this record. In fact, if you disagree with me, I'm going to give you my email address. I'll make it right. That's how much I think you're going to love this record. Steve at TalkShop.live. You let me know. I'll make it right, because I think you're going to agree with me that this is a brilliant piece of work. Adam, let's check out another track from the new album.
Yeah.
Here's Cloud 9. Once again, Sam, if you would, please roll the digital.
This is an exclusive, guys. The first time you're hearing it.
All right.
Made for us. Was this even made for us? Grab onto the feeling every time we touch. Dangerous. I know you can taste it, love. Blue eyes hit the ceiling. Hope it takes us up. Now you got me wrapped around your wrist. Baby, edge me till we're off the cliff. Wanna feel how close our bodies get. Is that it? When it all falls, I'll never let you down. Won't lose our grip in the trip until we touch the ground. When it all falls, I know that we'll walk it out. Give me a kiss in the trip until we touch the clouds. Where's the line? Are we better undefined? I can feel your rhythm in the heat of the night. Time flies over the broken promises. Don't you cry. Isn't this how you want it? Now you got me wrapped around your wrist. Baby, edge me till we're off the cliff. Wanna feel how close our bodies get.
Yep. They're going off on me again. Pretty angry that we cut that off. That was Cloud 9. Fascinating track. We were talking about, again, how your varying approaches to songs. Here's a great case study of that passionate vocal and, just a really unique feeling. Love the chorus. Such a refreshing, exhilarating feel from the song, and really the album in its entirety. But and fans didn't get a chance to hear it, but love that pivot, that instrumentally that change at the end too is
Yeah,
really cool.
we thought, we were covering all these different 90s styles, and then we were like, drum and bass. Let's
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah.
And right where you cut it off, that next chorus is huge. There's like a gospel,
It's
background vocals. It's
amazing.
pretty wild. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'll make sure to terminate the person who did the editing on that one because it's unacceptable. But no, we need them. But Am I Okay? Another powerful track, powerful lyric, gorgeous vocal. Am I Okay? Everyone keeps asking. I don't know, 'cause it only just happened. Did I really make it out unscathed from the wreckage of the mess I made? If I don't break down and cry, if I ain't losing my mind, am I okay? I think this, lyric will also speak to a lot of people.
I hope
And
so.
also
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
on a personal level, like I 5-year relationship ended, and
yeah,
this was written
hard.
literally a week after the breakup, and it was I was raw. It was very fresh. And I was like not sure how I felt. I was asking all these questions. I mean, these are literal questions that I was asking myself and having conversations with friends about. So it feels very real, this
Yeah,
song. And yeah, I mean, even though it's intensely personal, I think, my goal always, with all the music that I make is to sort of figure out a way to make it true to me and personal to me, but also somehow make it something that people can find their own stories in and their
right.
own experience in. And I think this one might work that way. I think people will. I think it's a universal feeling, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, that's how I took it for sure, but it also I was pretty clear to me that this was written in first person and not like a
Yeah,
third person song,
yeah.
kudos to you for, for sharing that, but, in some respects, that's the beauty of songwriting and music, isn't it? That it also can be somewhat cathartic.
100%. I mean, it was therapy for me for sure. And
Yeah,
to have it to turn it into something so beautiful. It's a very tender ballad, that song. It's really in some ways, I mean, emotionally, it's sort of the heartbeat of the album. It's the most raw, and revealing. And it's sort of the turning point for the sequencing too, because after that we start picking up the energy again and trying to find the light.
that's right. How are you
Yeah.
doing now? Is life treating you well? You in a good pathway?
Yeah, I'm just so excited to be putting out music. When after I was done with the theater work that I did the last couple years, I definitely had some downtime, while I was working on this, and it almost turned into too much downtime. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
getting bored. I want to like do something. So I'm really excited that I'm not bored anymore.
Yeah, I will say the one last point on this last track, the production too, man. Really love that. It centers on the vocal in the song, and it felt like this could have been potentially overproduced with a lot of layers on it. But the fact that it wasn't allows it to breathe. It centers on your vocal, as I said, and really serves the song. This one, I mean, just wanted to call out, really was special or is special.
Yeah, and Pete Nappy, his production on it is so cinematic. It's like
Yeah,
he almost created this beautiful string, like film score almost. It was really when he finished it, I was blown away. I really love the atmospheric stuff he put in there. And like you said, there's no beat really. It's kind of
right.
done just with piano and strings, so it's very organic, very emotional.
Absolutely. Yeah, and again, it showcases, the amazing versatility of your song, and that passion behind it is, just so clear.
Thank you.
And, yeah, absolutely. Tina, is again, I mean, people are I feel like I gotta call 911, but I wouldn't know where to send the ambulances. People are almost having heart attacks, but showing their love about how excited they are that you took the time to be here. Christine Berry saying his
Aw.
voice is unmatched. Absolutely love it. Anne found it a fascinating track. Let's see here. We got comments like awesome vocals, so creative. And it just goes on and on. I mean, we could spend probably a couple hours just going through all the passion and love and excitement behind this record. Under the Rhythm, we're going to play as the outro, but, just want to comment on that. Great groove, killer feel. And, almost doesn't matter what flavor of music or genre one prefers. I feel like this one will evoke a physical response to all. And I also, my last comment on is if you aren't moved by Under the Rhythm, don't bother calling 911. It's too late. You have no pulse. Okay, seriously, we don't want to lose anyone out here, but it was a pretty powerful. I mean, that's the power of a great song and great production is when you don't even know why, but the song takes you over. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's what I mean. This amongst many of the songs on this album, that's what Under the Rhythm did for me.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really proud of it. It was the sort of out of all the songs, like it like came together really quickly. I mean, it was just sort of, and it was sort of at the 11 o'clock hour. It was towards the end of our process. And all of a sudden we all kind of looked at each other and we're like, this is a single. Like this
Yeah.
feels like magic. So it was very, a very exciting discovery.
Absolutely magic. Yeah, for sure. And speaking of magic, okay, it's been 6 years since we've heard new original music. The wait is over. Midnight, when the clock strikes midnight, you'll be able to hear everything top to bottom, and it was absolutely worth the wait. 12 new studio tracks, and, you can purchase your copies right here, right now. Very limited quantity left. It's gonna be sold out. Adam was gracious enough to sign a limited number of vinyl and CDs. To order your copies, hit the shop button and Talk Shop Live on socials, Facebook and Instagram. Comment Shop will DM you a link. And on YouTube, click the link in the description. And there's no greater way to show how much you appreciate the amazing artistry of Adam Lambert. The man has definitely delivered one of his best pieces, if not his best piece to date, top to bottom. This is a great album. And I have to say Rage, man. Driving Cut, this one is kind of hypnotic from my point of view and, really true passion in this particular track.
Thank you. Yeah, it was it's funny because with the sequence, a lot of times albums you kind of put your best songs at the front, at the top, and then just, it's sort of randomized.
Yeah,
I really wanted it to kind of have an emotional story. So some of the best tracks are actually, some of them are towards the end, it's definitely like a full body of work. And yeah, Rage was very exciting because it reunited me with Bonnie McKee, a songwriter that I worked
yeah,
with a lot on my Trespassing album. So
right.
it was kind of cool to like reconnect with her, and Jesse St. John also was writing on that one, and I've known him for years as well. So that was really exciting to kind of go back to sort of old friends. I mean, the songwriters that I've met in Los Angeles over the last 15 years or so are so brilliant.
Yeah,
I've become friends with a lot of them, and songwriters sort of get the short end of the stick. They don't get paid very well. Sometimes
right.
they're the unsung heroes, but they're working their asses off, and they're really responsible for a lot of what you love. So
And
big
and
ups
yeah,
to my songwriters out there. And another big songwriter on the album was Trey Campbell, who was very,
yeah,
very integral on a handful of tracks. So
yep.
very talented, very
Yeah,
talented.
good call out, for sure. And as you know, you can't orchestrate chemistry, whether it's songwriting or the musicianship. It happens organically, and it isn't like there's some manual that everyone can point to as to how to write the perfect song or a magic song. It happens when it happens.
Yeah.
Real love. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, no, I was agreeing with you. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, Real Love, man, such a great rhythmic vocal line. So much so, Adam, I almost felt like the backbeat wasn't required, and of course, it's appropriate that it's in here, but such a fascinating vocal approach, because of how rhythmic it is, man. I would pay good money just to hear the vocals isolated. I just thought it was a really cool piece of work in terms of your approach on the vocal.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was that's actually the oldest song on the album. It was actually written or started during the pandemic. I think LA had been in lockdown, and then they sort of opened up for small groups, and I had Brandon Colbean and Alexander Lewis come over, and we started writing the song. And
Yeah.
it went through like and then it went through a different handful of sort of iterations, and then Trey Campbell sort of reinvented some of the verse work, and it was one that I pulled from sort of the vault when
Love
we were
it.
finishing the album.
Yeah. Well, great music stands the test of time, so we're oblivious to the fact as to when it was written. I know you
Yeah,
lived with it for a while, but man, it it
yeah.
it fits. It
It
works
needed, and like
100.
I wanted the album needed to have like a something really pop and sort of dancey. This is like a very sort of contemporary dance pop kind of thing, and I needed that light sort of breezy, happy, romantic moment.
Yeah, absolutely, and, I don't wanna gloss over these, but I wanna hit all of them. Be mindful of your time, but Don't Stop Driving, cool track, great dynamics, again, distinct, unique melody lines, kind of embellished with intriguing instrumentation. This is another standout, in my book. And then you have Do You See Me Now, from the groove again to another magnificent vocal to the driving instrumentation. And I mean, I just wanted to touch on the lyric too. Hypothetical question: do I make an impression? Does it make you aggressive? When you look at my face, hold my head underwater, just a lamb to the slaughter. Yeah, it's making me stronger till I can turn around and say, "Hey, do you see me now? Do you know my name? Is it cold there in my shadow, babe?" Really powerful lyric.
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to end the album with something strong and confident and sort of self-assured.
Yeah.
You know, that's I can tend to be sort of my own worst enemy in times, and you know, I'm really hard on myself. And over the last few years, I think I've gotten better at like really being able to pat myself on the back in a genuine way and be happy for myself and be my own support, you know,
Good for you.
and you know, like natural, non-arrogant confidence, you know, is the way
Yeah.
I put it, you know, and it's something that it took me a while to sort of figure out, you know, and I think that song really is like, hey, guess what? I'm good. Like I love myself. I accept myself. You know, if you don't get it, stay in the shadow, you know, screw you.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. I think this is
Yeah.
one of my favorites. The track is undeniable, and yeah, I don't know if it's a good analogy, but it's like musical heroin. And I'm not advocating heroin by any means, but I kept coming back to this track
It's
because
got, you
man,
know, this one has a lot of, it's also like very classic rock sort of
yeah,
driven. It's got a real driving rock and roll spirit to it.
it
And I
does.
thought that was kind of cool because I wanted to connect this sort of the beginning and the end of the album a bit, and they flow. Oh, I've seen
Yeah,
comments about lose the glasses. Y'all, I didn't sleep that much. I'm working
yeah,
hard. My eyes look tired. I am a little vain, so I wanted to wear my glasses. You can kind of see my eyes. Get over it.
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Cut the man some slack. He showed up, man. He's not getting paid well for
It's
those who didn't
morning.
hear comments. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I didn't want to put
You
more
know,
eyeliner on. All right.
yes, yeah, that's right. It's his rules, by the way. He's keeping the shades on. Just
And these
another
glasses are they're great.
they're amazing glasses. Again, yeah, one day, like I hope you at least point me in the right direction where I can go shopping for shades like that. And we're celebrating this great new album, top to bottom. Adam delivered, and of course, it's appropriately entitled Adam. 12 new studio tracks are released at midnight tonight. When the clock strikes midnight and turns to Friday, and you fans on Talk Shop Live can purchase your copies right here, right now. Adam has signed a limited number of vinyl and CD copies. It's almost sold out. To order your copies, hit the shop button on Talk Shop Live on socials, Facebook and Instagram, comment shop. And if you're watching on YouTube, click the link inside the description. And the rest is quick and easy. And again, no greater way to show how much you love the man. And any and all music fans in general are just going to find this just a brilliant piece of work. So, Adam, other than these few dates that you're doing, is there anything else on your agenda for the balance of the year? It's hard to believe that we're past the halfway point of 2026.
No, I know. I mean, I think the exciting thing about getting this album out there is that hopefully, you know, hopefully when it's out and people start loving it, you know, even more opportunities should pop up. You know, that's sort of,
Yeah,
it's a calling card. You know, it's like this is my world, this is my era that I'm in, and I'm excited to sort of see where we can take it.
that sounds great.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with you coming up for air too. You know, you're a hardworking man, so
Yeah, I'm gonna
you've
take a
earned.
little time. I'm gonna have some downtime after this thing comes out and have this little mini tour. But yeah, I'm ready to keep working. Oh, and for those of you, I know that we're talking about physical copies of this album, but if you could all do me a big favor and also go on to Spotify or Apple Music and pre-save the album.
Yep.
That really helps me as an independent artist. It helps me, you know, gain traction and, you know, helps strengthen the numbers and all that. You know, this project, one reason why I named it Adam was because this is the first time I've released something on my own independently, which has been super exciting for the creative process because I've gotten to sort of make big decisions and, you know, brought in the people I wanted to work with, but it ain't cheap. It ain't cheap. I'm paying for it all myself. So yeah, it's, you know, any help that I can get, you guys spread the word, share it with your friends. It's much appreciated.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's your assignment. And also, every album and CD counts heavily also towards that first week charting. We want Adam to go up, go out there with this massive first week sales and hit the charts. And that's how you do it through pre-saving as well as purchasing
Yeah.
these albums and CDs. So check all the boxes and show the man how much you appreciate what he does. And before we let you go, we'd like to thank all the fans, and there's just so many of them out there. I mean, it was like the chat function was blowing up before my eyes, and we love the fact that it's again that you're just so universally embraced and appreciated. I want to say a special thank you to Joe behind the scenes for helping to make things happen. Also, Gabriel Roca, thank you so much. Also to Tori and Avery, our good friends at the Orchard, Jake Anderson, also Cody, Kayla, Neil, and Sydney, our fulfillment partner at All Media Supply that ensure that you're getting the autographed copies and the recorded music delivered intact and on a timely basis. And to Brian, Sandy, Tina, Brad, Joe, Jenny, Lavani, Marty, Kate, Brendan, behind the scenes doing great work as always, Sam, all from Talk Shop Live. But most importantly, a huge thanks and much love to Adam Lambert for continuing to provide and share his musical gifts for all of us. Adam, before we part company, any last words you'd like to share with all those fans out there?
I definitely wanted to remind you guys that the indie variant will be available in local record stores tomorrow. So if you want to buy a physical copy in a store, old school classic record shop, you can do that tomorrow.
We love the record shops, man.
Yeah.
They're like the last bastion of a great shopping experience for music.
I mean, that's how I grew up, having to go to a store to buy music. It was exciting.
Same. Yeah, I was always worried they were going to evict me for spending too much time there. I mean, it's just intoxicating experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to also just say, like, thank you guys so much for
Yeah.
your support. Thanks for coming on here today. And when you get to the music tonight, or when you get your physical copy, make sure to leave me some comments on social media. I'm dying to hear your thoughts, your favorite songs. Yeah, I can't wait to hear how you guys like it.
And that's my cue again to remind everybody, support the indie stores, but also you can pick up copies of Adam's new album here on Talk Shop Live, personally autographed by him. And while you're at it, spread the gospel, spread the love, pick up copies for friends and family. Music and art is a gift that keeps on giving, one that will last a lifetime. And there's no more brilliant artist before us than Adam Lambert. Your friends and family will thank you for it. You've worked hard this year. You deserve it. And as I said, I have it on good authority, this album will enhance everyone's quality of life. And if you disagree, Steve at TalkShop.live, I will make it right. That's how much I think you're going to love this record. And again, if you love what we do, check out TalkShop.live. And Adam, man, so great to see you again. Thank you so much for spending so much time with us, and also
of course,
for delivering this great album.
Oh, and one other thing I wanted to remind
Yeah.
you guys of is that obviously I'm doing this little mini tour. If you didn't know about it, check out adamlambert.net, my website, and hit live. And you can maybe come see a show in the next 2 weeks. Going to be in Los Angeles on Friday night, and then I'm going to New York. We're doing London, we're doing Berlin, and we're doing a couple little casinos here and there in between. So go check out the dates and hopefully see you at a show.
That sounds great. Yeah, I highly encourage that for sure. And with that, everyone, we're going to go out with one additional great track. So don't tune out just yet, but stay safe, enjoy life, rock on. Thanks for being here so long, everybody. And thanks again, Adam.
Thank you.
Where is my mind? It's somewhere inside this feeling. I will just need to find a